We are going to be looking at driving excellence within these 5 concepts. Number 1 is engage employee. Number 2 is smart goals. Number 3, data driven strategy. The 4th one, productivity act. And number 5 is core value. So these are the 5 aspects we'll be looking at as far as driving excellence is. And I believe you are ready to follow me. Are we ready? Now, we're going to look at driving excellence within these 5 concepts. Now, the first one I'll be starting with is engage employees. We are all seated here. We are all staff of SPEC. And each and every one of us is an employee, in which we have someone who has employed us. Now, we know someone who is working for another person is an employee of that organization. But I think it takes more than just being an employee for a particular organization to grow. And that's why this additional word, engage employees, because it will just take someone who is just coming to work, just writing book, just talking to clients. It will just take such person for an organization to grow. It takes more than that. And that's why we'll be talking on this particular thing, engage employee. Let me start with the definition. Engaged employees are employees that are enthusiastic and committed to their work and organization. Now, committed and passionate about the work. Now, let me tell you, when I said the statement and everybody was muted. But I can tell you, anywhere you find yourself, there are always companies that are probably, when you compare your own particular job, you see, I only in Shejuwalo. But believe you me, it's in every field. I'm working in a field that's also related with yours. And when we talk about how is this, how is that, we are always seeing the reason for us to a little bit condemn our own job or organization. But we know it doesn't work like that. Engaged employees are employees that are committed and passionate to their work, not only to their work, to their job and to their organization. They care about their work, the company's performance. That is the reason why I asked the question. Can someone just tell us our performance for the year 2024? So which means if we are not in the know, how do you want to really address what you might think is wrong? All right. If things are going right, that means yes, we need to improve it. If things are going wrong, that means we need to work on it. But if an employee of a particular organization is not even aware of the company's performance, an engaged employee doesn't think in a way by Ogata. No. They care about their work, about the company's performance, and they feel their effort makes a difference. And they also know that yes, whatever I am doing contributes to this performance. My early to work, my attendance to customer, reviews and disbursement of money to customers, these are the things that contribute to the company's performance. So when I'm doing this, I know the company is moving right. When I'm not doing this, I know the company is not moving right. That's an engaged employee. They see where the company is. They know where the company is in terms of performance, in terms of income, revenue, expenses, and they know where the company is going. The plans, the targets, the goal set. We are starting a new year now. We know we need to move to a particular location. I'm not saying physically, but there's something we need to actually focus on and meet it. Not only that, or where they ought to be, and consciously take effort to be part of that growth and development. Now, let me tell you, a company that is performing very well, I can tell you really that the staff too will enjoy it. There is this Yoruba word we used to say, ara oro okun, ara oro kini. So which means taraba oro okun, kilo ma pada se adie na. That's it. You can't tell me that you will perform your work very well, dutifully, and the company will now tell you, why did you perform very well? Is that possible? No. No matter how the leadership never shall lady, it is not possible. So which means they know where the company ought to be, and they are taking their effort to make sure that the company grows well, because they know the performance of that company is also contribute to their own personal development. And I can tell you, having a job now, even if you feel like you are not satisfied, it's still better than having no job. Do you know that? So even if you think alone is one something, go out there with no work and see how it is. An engaged employee is in it for more than a paycheck and may consider their well-being linked to their performance and thus instrumental to the company's success. The reason why you are working is money. Yes, I know. Everybody works for money. But an engaged employee sees it that even when the money does not amount to what he or she expected, he knows that yet by the time the companies perform well, they're also going to be treated well. That's why I think there is this aspect of commissions that comes in your work. Apart from your basic salary, there are companies that do that. They give you basic salary, yes. Then they will not give you commission. You know that the more you sell, the more your what? Your commission. So funny that when the guy was talking to us one particular, they say there is one, is it the BM that was even earning higher than the ZM in this same company. So you see, but if the person is not doing well, will he also be receiving something higher than his oga? So that's how an engaged employee thinks. He doesn't just think like, no, they can and get out. No, he sees more than coming to work. He sees more than doing what is expected, but he sees the reason why he needs to work very well so that the companies perform very well and his life also perform very well. What are the characteristics of an engaged employee? Number one, they have positive attitude towards the organization and its value. I will keep on emphasizing it. If you think yes, your company is not doing well, go and ask about other companies. So no matter what it might seem like, an engaged employee of a particular company has positive attitude towards the work. In Nigeria, it is certain. I can say, though there is no data for it, but I can say 50% of us are doing job or work that are not related to what we study. Am I right? 50%. But notwithstanding, as far as that job is still helping you, one of my guys used to say something. See, even if I don't like this job is putting food on my table. This is someone that is earning close to almost $1 million. He's putting food on my table. Should I lose it? No. So I must do everything to guide it. But apart from that, he still sees the need for him to do the work dutifully so that nobody takes the job away from him. They are active participants in their work. I'm trying to read more on what is called proactivity, and I see the book I was actually reading was talking about is either you act or you are acted upon. It's either you act or you are acted upon. There are people that will make things happen. There are people that people will wait for things to happen, and it won't be good if you always wait for things to happen. So engaged employee in an organization, they are the ones that are actively involved in the work. What is our goal for the year? What's our target for the year? This is where we are going. They seize every need, they seize every opportunity for them to actually work towards achieving that goal. They don't just lay down, lay about and say, talk about it or mama we want running. No, but they seize more than that. They know their role, what their job entails, and they want to do it. They are not just interested in what is my job function alone. They seize how the work ought to be done, and they are ready to do it. That's how an engaged employee, not just ordinary employee of an organization, sees himself or herself. And that's how I would like you to see yourself too, as staff of SPEC. You see yourself more than no, but you see it in the way, how do I create more? Now I can tell you that if, for example, in Ile-Ife, you have how many branches in Ile-Ife? 2 branches in Ile-Ife. Let's not say Ile-Ife branches now expanded their operation. There is a need for them to now have 4 branches. What do you think will happen to the credit officers that are there? There will be promotions. I know that's how it works. Generally, that's how it works in organization. That's what will happen. You teach them. Your job reduces, or let me say, but your responsibility increases, but more of what you have been doing before, you move higher. Then some people take your place at the back. So you now see the reason why I said they are loyal to their employer and are productive. Reality doesn't mean you gossiping. mo ti sọ fún yín lágbájá. No, but it involves you being disciplined to achieve what ought to be achieved. You are controlling yourself and you are motivated to do it. As far as my job is concerned, this is what I'm expected to do, and I will do it right. I want us to move fast because of time. They are motivated to work towards the success of their organization. They are connected to the organization and motivated to perform at high level. Nobody is pushing you around to do work. You know what you ought to do. Now, there are basic 3 parent behaviors, which we call the 3X. Say, stay, and strive. Now, an engaged employee says good things about the organization. He prefers to stay with the organization and he strives to make it better. Now, I will tell you vividly, I've actually worked with 2 or 3 organizations before, and I know what it means when you stay. If you stay with a particular organization and opportunity comes, they will consider you first. There are organizations, and I believe that's how it works generally, they consider your year of experience on that particular job function for promotion. Even when we have people that have some academic qualification, they will still prefer but these are people that have been doing it. They know more better on the job. So you see, you do yourself a lot of good when you are engaged as an employee of SPEC. Now, how can you tell if an employee is engaged? Let me just go through so that we can move faster. They are connected and committed. I've talked about it. They have excellent attitude. They feel like, yes, no matter what is going through the company, we are not meeting it. We are still not getting it right. They are always involved in making sure that these things work. They go extra mile. They are collaborative. You see people that they feel free to talk about ideas to better the organization, because they know what is good for the organization is also good for them. So they don't see the need for them to just lay low and say, no. But they see more in going extra mile, in taking extra effort, even when it's not being recognized. But they see that there are times you do some good things and you feel like, even if my God did not see it, you see a sense of joy in you. That's how it works. You see that sense of joy in you that for me doing this, yes, I'm happy within myself. They are collaborative. They are easy to work with. They are responsible and reliable. When they are given duties to do concerning their job, they know how to do it. They are ready to do it. They are not just being pushed around for them to do it. No, they know it. And let me now go to the next one. Now, you as an employee, how can you now be more engaged? That the work you are doing, you get more engaged and you release more results to the organization. Number one is that you ask what is expected of you. Ogami, as CEO of this branch, what are the things that I need to actually do? What are the things that will speak well of my results? The amount in savings, number of clients per day, disbursement per month, loan recovery per month. What are the things that will actually speak well about my results? Then also, request for what you need. If I'm going to do this, Ogami, I will need this. Okay, if you need this, we supply to you. If you need this, we don't have it at the moment. You as an engaged employee, you find yourself to know, okay, this is the way to work around these things. No, an engaged employee doesn't think like that. You know your strength. You know how well you can function, and you function well at that time. By which even they know this is your weak period, they will not push you too much. You can't see someone who has worked extra hour for the company over the Bishenjo KG. I've seen occasions like that. Even when you work late hours and you probably a little bit resume late the second day, nobody will even question you. I'm a cool office learner now, because you've done something to win that. You evaluate yourself to be known. You go extra mile and you find how you can create value. Okay, I still have this idea of we can do this. Concerning our loans that are still about to go to bad debt, we can still do this about it. You are creating value. You are ready to search for more knowledge. I saw something like this. When we go outside, we saw this. Can we do this? Can we do that? Someone who is actually giving that kind of ideas to his boss or to our boss, nobody will silence that person. And you have teamwork spirit, and you see feedback. These are the things that we talk about an engaged employee, and these are the things you need to start putting in place for you to be an engaged employee. You are not just I can tell you, President Kennedy visited NASA office one day, and he asked the janitor that, "Oga, what are you doing? What is the work of the janitor?" Instead of saying, my function is just to open the door, no, he said, "No, my job is to help some people to get to the moon." Because normally in the office of NASA, that's what they do. They do space research, aeronautic research. But he sees himself like, no, I'm not just opening the door for them, no, but I'm helping those people. Even if I don't know how to fly rockets, or I don't know how to write code, or I'm not an engineer, but even mere fact that I'm opening the door, I am contributing to the success of the organization. The benefit you will enjoy to yourself, number one, is increases productivity. I can tell you, if you are deep committed to your work, which I know some of you do, and you can still increase more, you are going to increase your productivity. I don't know if those have tried it 1 or 2 times and we see that I would have done better for this work. I know we might have had cases like that you see yourself, if I have even done better for this work, I don't know, this is even one particular thing happened. I think that should be last 2 years in our office. We are doing exchanging of gifts, so it's by surprise. Just go and buy gifts. Some people now bought some things unknowingly. When we cross puzzle the names, ara wọn náà tún mú padà again. The person now feel like, kí n lè ti rẹ̀ bùgídí, ìgbà kí n lè ti rẹ̀ bùgídí fúnra mi o. You just imagine that. That's how it works sometimes. You just like, if I had done better, if I have increased my committed to all this work, I would have even grown higher. Because an engaged employee is equals to increased productivity at work. Two people that are passionate about their job, they are deep concerned about it. Yes, you see them giving out output that Oga will keep on saying about it. So if you also find yourself, why is it that you need to keep on being engaged, and that's what will contribute to your productivity. Number 2, they are internally motivated. That's the benefit. You don't have to, nobody have to tell you what to do. You know what to do at a particular moment. And I can say that, have you been in a situation by which what you ought to do, you have done it? Will your guard accuse you of it? It's not possible. So once you see yourself as being engaged, and you keep on engaging yourself in your job, you have a lot to enjoy. Increases revenue, cost saving, just like I told you. Our guy did this. Our guy deliberately said it that I have 1 billion that is even earning than is ZM. Because the person sees the need for him to continue to push more, and is earning more. Happy employees, happier customers. How will you feel too if you want to approach a customer and you are frowning your face, or if someone wants to approach you to buy something and say, how will you feel? Will you also feel nobody feels? So a customer that will derive happiness is going to derive it from an employee that is happy too. What you don't have, you can't give. Lower absenteeism. People who feel not motivated to do work. Sometimes something will not do them. They just feel like, and they just sit down at home. What they ought to do in one day, someone you have to be covering up. Meanwhile, other works has to be done. But someone who is actually engaged will also receive recognition and rewards. And I think our guy was saying something to me on Sunday about that. I've actually 1 or 2, no problem. So people who actually will receive it will be the one that has actually done well according to the company standard. Better quality at work, creativity and value addition. And by the time you are doing all these things, people see the need to associate themselves with you. They see the need while your work. There are times that you are not the leader, but people see you as the leader. We find ourselves in some organization in which you see that even though this is the so-called head, it's not the one even working. If you want to pick people that are working, come and pick this person. And when recommendations for opportunities comes, they know how to give to those people because they are engaged. So I believe with these few points, you are able to know what being engaged as an employee turns to be, more than just being a staff, or let me just say more than just being a member of an organization. You see why you need to be more engaged, and to be more engaging to contribute to the company's performance. I want to go to the second thing, which I call the achieving smart goals. Achieving smart goals and targets. The year is just starting, and the reason why you are here is because SPEC has something in mind, and they have what they intend to achieve throughout this year. Sometimes around August last year, we came there again and we review half year performances, and we can see, oh, this is where we started from, this is what we said we want to do, and this is where we are. And I believe this year too, there are things that has been set down that, okay, for the year 2025 we are moving to this. Organizations have goals and targets that are set at every strategic period, and that's why this is a strategic period too. This is the month of January. We are just starting the year. We need to move on some things. We need to do some things. So for when we are having a meeting this week, we are talking about our performances too. Even the targets that was set for us for the year, we've met it at midway. But for head office, they still told them increase it the more. Which means at every time, nobody will be satisfied with you. We've achieved it, there's nothing again. No. Just like human elite norms, we used to say that human needs will continue to be, they are insatiable. You will always have the need to move forward. And I can tell you that as organizations are having goals and targets set for the year, we are seated here, we are the driving force to achieve it. That's why the main topic in which I started with is what? Driving excellence. Because we are the one that will drive the excellence of SPEC. Time, resources, and actions, or resource allocation and utilization, including reactions, determine our path towards achieving those set goals. I can tell you that why you are here is also part of why we want to achieve some goals, because the organization look at it and says, for anybody that is going to achieve, or for them to achieve it, our staff or our employees must be adequately equipped. That's it. In fact, organizations don't take big companies, they don't take training lightly. Everybody must be trained, because they know that the more you are knowledgeable about their product and services, your skills improve, the more the organization continues to perform. So finally, let me now tell you, goals and targets can be achieved. We've seen it over time, and especially in SPEC for the year 2025. Irrespective of what has happened last year, yes, we did it very well. We achieved it. For branches that might have seen their result and say, yes, we did it very well, we achieved it, they still hear that, yes, you can still move forward. So which means continually there will always be goals and targets set for us, and it can be achieved. So let's go through the process of it. What we call SMART goals. For us to achieve our goals, we must be smart, because the goals itself, we must make it smart. And this SMART is an acronym for what you see on the board. SMART goals. The S stand for what? The M stand for what? Measurable. The A stand for what? Achievable. The R stand for realistic or relevant. The T stand for what? Time bound. So if whatever SPEC will be setting for the year 2025, we as the driving force, we must make sure it falls into this for us to really achieve it. We must be specific about it. We must be able to measure it. And I can tell you that, just like I said, all goals are achievable once we are realistic about it, and within the time frame. By the time you know it, you might have been seeing some memes now. They will tell you 2026 is fast approaching. You'll be seeing that January, but it's actually a means, but is a truth. That before you know it, you say, this year I will achieve this, I will do this. If you are not careful, the year will also go out and without you achieving anything. But by the time you make your goal smart, you are specific about what you want. This also goes, apart from our job, it also goes to our personal life. I can tell you, our private life determines our public life. Do you know that? Your personal life determines how you perform well on job. So if you are not setting yourself to achieve smart goals for yourself, part of it is, this year I will not be coming late to work. You are supposed to resume by what time? But you are just coming by 9. What you ought to do from 8 to 9? Do you think robots would have done that for you at work? So the time you ought to use for a particular thing, you will have to use for another thing again. But by the time we make ourselves smart and the goals we ought to achieve for the year, we make it smart, we're going to see that it's going to be achievable. Now let's go with the S, specific. Number one thing you must do is clearly define what you want to achieve. Break down the organization target into manageable and precise objective. I know on the big scale, maybe SPEC we say we are trying to increase our savings by 50%, by 20%. We are going to reduce our defaulters by so percent. We are going to increase our number of clients by so percent. Now that is what the organization will pick on the last scale. I know the time will come that we will still discuss all this, but on your own scale you have to break it down to make your own self. How am I going to contribute to this? Ede branch or Ede 1 Ogbomoso, what is the quota given to us? And I know as far as teams or organizations are concerned, they cannot give the same thing to everybody. They will give based on capacity. They know these also branches, they are so big that they manage over 200 customers, and branches that are managing 50, 100, they can't give them the same target. So this is our quota, we are giving to disburse 50 million for the year. Now you break it down to make it more specific. Okay, this year for the month of January we are disbursing 1 million naira. That's a specific, it has been certain. That's why I put some examples. If your goal is to disburse 500,000 in loans this month, you specify, you make sure the category, this also people, this also location, these are the people we are actually giving it to. You identify and you try to draft out something specifically. You are specific, you specify what you really want to do. You are specific about it. The second one, which I call the M, is what? This means ensuring that your goal is quantifiable so that your progress can be tracked. You can't just come to work and say, is that possible? No. Starting with figures you can relate with. Look at this one. Set a measurable target like, okay, we are securing 50 new clients. You know 50 and you see 50. That is being measurable. You have a figure you are actually targeting, and you can do it either like this or something like this. Okay, we are increasing our percentage of repayments by 95%. At least when we disburse 100,000, 95,000 must come back between or within some time frame, depending on how your work is being done. You give a value which you can really focus on. By the time you are working in abstract, you don't know what you are actually working on. You are not tracking anything. You don't know if you are really progressing or not. The A aspect of it is achievable. Set goals that challenge you but remain realistic based on your resources and capabilities. That's why I said it. Nobody can give. We've seen some of the plans over time, and we see some location by which they will give some location maybe 10,000 for example. And they will give some location times 5 of it. And we've seen sometimes by which the branches that are giving even 500% increase of it, they achieve it even more than companies that branches that they give lesser value to, because they know that okay, this thing is achievable and they set target towards it. For example, look at the example I gave. If the average loan size in your area is 100,000 and you are going to 1 million naira, how do you think you can achieve it? You divide this by this and you know okay, 100,000 make him a phone jade. So how do I do this? How do I meet up with 1 million naira that I'm supposed to disburse? Okay, 10 people. Let me try to work around 10 people. The next one, which is R, is what? Relevant. Now you now align your goal with the broader objective of the organization, ensuring you contribute to the success of the organization. I've been given this particular quota to work on, I must work on it. Make sure that your work you are doing is relevant, contributes to organization. Just like I gave the example by which I said a janitor was asked about what are you doing at NASA. He didn't just say I'm opening door. No, he is looking at it on a larger scale, that yes, I'm helping people that are going to the moon. The objective of NASA is for them to do more researches in the space, aeronautics and anything concerning with that. He didn't just see himself as saying ilẹ̀kùn lásán mo ṣí. No, he is saying I'm contributing to that, people achieving it. So every of your savings, every of the loan you give out, you are seeing it in a way by which is tending towards the goal of the organization. And the last aspect of it is time bound. We are in January now. Before you know it, December will come now, and you now feel like, when did we even start the year? So by the time you start dividing it and you say, okay, we are giving 50 million naira to work with in the year, how do I start achieving it? Okay, let's divide it by the number of months in the year. Okay, the month of, we have 12 months divided by 12. Okay, we have maybe say 4.1. So in the month of January, how do we want to make sure we achieve this? Number of clients, number of this, you start dividing and you give it. Okay, by the end of this week, agbodo ti ṣe nǹkan báyìí. You are making your goals time bound. Remember we said it must be measurable. You have figures. You must have disbursed so amount of money to so numbers of customers. So you know what you are really working with, and you know, yes, I'm trying to work within this time frame. Or how many of us work 24/7? I mean, is that the way SPEC work? 24/7. You resume 7 in the morning, you are not even going home, you stay 24/7. No. When you resume 8 o'clock, you must leave either by 4 or 5, at most 6. You must leave. So you must talk about it. Talk about it. I'm not JJC to you, let me tell you. I'm not JJC to you. What time are you expected to close? So when do you usually leave on average? 8 o'clock. 10:30. Don't cashless policy. Do you know the time we daily? I got them 11 o'clock because people are packing cash. I'm like, cash well. The bank closed by when? Bank. In some locations still. So is it immediately tell you about jáde and then the staff will jáde abi? There are times that you are closed by 3. We are still at end of the year, end of the month report when you start doing it. Bank that's when you see they jáde because you know what we are going to face after that. It's even bigger than what we will be doing in the morning. You come, we answer you, you go, we come, we answer you. It's after when we are done with all the things, then we now start doing work. We now know that. So it's always everywhere. I told you I'm doing work that is related to yours too. So, yes, I know how it is. Yours might be on a maybe lower scale than where I work, but it's almost like everywhere. So, after having the SMART goals, what did I call the SMART goal? X stand for what? M stand for what? A stand for what? R stand for what? T stand for what? Now, after you've done that, there's another thing that you still want to do. That's what we call data-driven strategies. Data-driven strategies. Now, one funny statistics about data is that over the past 10 years, 99% of the information we have currently was just generated within the last 10 years. Which means generation of information or data keep on increasing. And just in simple terms, strategy is a general plan or maybe your design towards achieving a particular thing. Now, we've previously talked about what? SMART goals. That's our plan. We want to do this, we want to do that, we want to do this. But we can't just take plans. We can't just how many of you think soldiers go on battlefield just like that? They go with some things. They have prior knowledge, prior information about what to do. And that's what we call data-driven strategy. What is data? It's the collection of facts, numbers, word, observation, or other useful information. It can be as informal as you think. Just ọ̀rẹ́ lásán. Báwo ni tẹ́lẹ̀ lónìí ní kíní èèyàn mẹ́ta la rí bá pàdé. You've given one information. That's data. to the extent by which you are writing them down, or to the extent by which you start seeing analysis, machine learning, no matter anything it can be, anything that has to do with information. That's why your work and your strategy for this year must be data driven. And what is that short form for? What is the basic definition for it? It means business approaches that uses data analysis and interpretation to make decisions. You are not just doing guesswork. No, but you have something you have with you. This is the information we've received. Now, how do we work with it? And just like I tell you, you having all sort of, they might tell you, okay, this is your performance for the last year. They might show you in the month of January you did this, in the month of, when we were opportune last year, we were giving your data for the mid-year, and we could see some branches that started very well. Oh, month of January they were performing. Month of February they performed, they even increased. But the month of March they couldn't sustain it, they had to drop a little. Month of April they dropped. Month of June, July they picked up. Things like that. And that is the reason why they just have to call managers back that what we are seeing on the table is not good. So if at the big or at the head office they are taking that approach, you also can do that by taking every of your plans for the year, every of your duties this year, using the information you have with you. You want to achieve smart goal, you can't just be doing guesswork. Kí la tún fẹ́ ṣe lónìí? Bí a ká tó lọ sí ìpètùmọ̀dù. No, but you have something tangible in which you've gotten as details, information, numbers, figures, and you make your decision through that. Now, very important is to know that the data you collect is key to understanding how loyal customers are, how frequently they buy the product, and their capability. You keep on seeing someone you are giving a loan of 100,000 naira, the person is still defaulting. So will you now suggest you increase it to 500,000 naira? Because you have the information that this person is not even meeting up. So you don't just take guesswork. Maybe because you are thinking we want to increase our disbursement amount, you don't think any time for 100,000 until you listen to you have to have pada. No. Yeah? So you see why information is very important. It is even more than that. You can tweak that strategic plan towards that information you have. Now, let me tell you, most of us might be saying it or we might take note of it. How many of you have probably, you are discussing with someone, mo fẹ́ ra phone o, ẹ jọ̀ọ́ bá mi wá price the phone, and by the time you open the phone you are still trying to manage. You just see on the internet Infinix Hot 50i, iPhone 50, iPhone 17 Pro Max. You start seeing the information. How many of you you've taken note of that particular thing? Or could you share anybody?
It's because you searched for it, it will be bringing ads related to it.
That's what some things are, what is called data driven analysis or strategy. In fact, so funny that, do you know your audio now, they are source of information for big companies. The mere fact that you are just listening to particular music or you are searching for anything on the internet, they will keep on giving you that information about that thing you want. That's why I used to tell people, if I don't want to know the type of person you are, I know how to. Browser history, you keep on saying those things. Don't man search for that time. Same thing. Once you know that this is what your customer is, you've seen someone that, okay, you are giving the person 100,000 naira. Then surpass it. Then try. Don't test it. Don't try. That means the person has the capability to increase. You are not just doing guesswork. No, but you have the details of, you can even convince your guy that I know this person can actually do it. Collection of data will not provide immediate results. You must know that. But you need to understand the benefits. It will help you to identify where your company can benefit, even you as credit officer. Whatever you are going out with every time, whatever you are doing every time, the information you have with you, with this information I know things can still be done. More can still be gotten from this. Everybody is a data analyst. Believe you me, everybody is a data analyst. It might just be some people might be using software, but the information you have with you, Monday, mo disburse 100,000. Tuesday, mo disburse 200,000. Then when you sum it up, what do you have on Friday? That's the total now. That's analysis. That means I've done 500,000 out of the 1 million naira I'm supposed to do. You are getting information. And by the time you see, out of 1 million I'm supposed to disburse for month of January, first week, second week, third week mo ṣe wà lórí 200,000. What is your data telling you? Out of you are giving target of 1 million naira per month. You are just using some figures. Week 1, week 2, week 3, ẹ ṣe wà lórí 200,000 naira. What is that information telling you? Out of 1 million naira for 4 weeks, you are still in the week 3 and you just disbursed 200,000 naira. What is the information from that? So which means if you want to meet up, you must double your. This one is not even double. Quadruple your hustle. Go over new clients, learn go possible. There are times that I said yours is just a little, let me say, lower version. There are times you just go to our office, you say you are looking for one account officer. Kò sí ilé ibo ló lọ ó ti wọ gbó kan lọ. By the time he is coming back, package tó máa kó wọlé ó ti lọ wá àwọn Hausa kan tó lọ ṣí àkáǹtì fún mi ẹ̀yin kí ni ẹ̀yin ṣí àkáǹtì kí ni kò sí BVN ẹ bá rí ẹ̀yìn. That's it. Because by the time they target giving per month tó di pé DDA with their figures KPIs DDA ti ń drop tán pè ní meeting tán pè orúkọ ẹ pé lágbájá you are sleeping. It's like you are tired of this job. There was a meeting that they keep on telling us that the solar head just said, see, even the beggar in my village, ó máa make ìjòyè tó make law as a banker. Ẹni láti òkè ẹni ìwà ń gba bára àjọ. You understand it? Bó ṣe rí nípò ẹ̀rẹ́ pé tó bá ń gba bára àjọ, ó máa ní ju dídí ètò ní lọ. Just imagine pé ọmọ boy you must find a way out. Because they have information they are monitoring. They have points they are counting. And so you're not just taking plans for the year like no, you have what you're actually working out to. The number of clients we ought to make per month, are we meeting it? If we are not meeting it, definitely we need to increase for the next month. What are the benefits if we are able to work our strategy out this year using the information we really have? Number one, it will allow us to anticipate opportunities and risk even before taking relevant actions. By the time we look at the figures we have on our table, Monday 100, Tuesday 100, we can look at what next to do. We take decision based on that. Or by the time we are looking at our number of savings and the loans we disburse out, and àwọn tó ń dáwó padà ò tó nǹkan we know gbèsè lélẹ̀ o. Number 2, data-driven companies, they are more successful even for individuals. How many of you have seen someone you just collected his number today? You collected someone's number today, and the next thing when you enter Facebook is that Facebook is bringing that person to you as your friend. Or you don't know what that means. Let me meet you. And you just open your Facebook, you can scroll up. You will see that person suggested for you. Because they know that one information just enter your system, so they give you something you needed. Anything with your number alone, you add as friend. You keep on adding as friend. You keep on wasting your data. They keep on getting more profit. That's how it works. It helps us in making informed decisions. We are not just doing guesswork, just like I've said. We are making decisions based on what we've seen, based on the information. In fact, when we came here around August, that should be August last year, we keep on seeing figures by which actually this thing is not, what do we need to do? And also predictive analysis. You can predict what will happen. You are moving towards 1,000 naira on Monday 250, on Tuesday 250, on Wednesday 250, on Thursday 250. I've achieved my goal. On Friday bonus will come again. You can predict, okay, this is what is going to happen. And by the time the year is going, you know what part of what we are trying to achieve, we are on the path towards it. We are not just going, or we don't have anything to do. And the last one is that it helps you understand customers' behavior. And for us to now do that, I want us to quickly go through some productivity hack in which can help us when we go through the year. I have 3. Understanding your job. Number 2 is Pareto's principle. And the third one is time management. The first one, I will just summarize it. I want us to know that one of the ways we can actually make our goals smart, be an engaged employee, and to be data driven is when we really understand what our job is. as CEO, these are the things that are expected of me. When you don't understand them, sometimes it involves you questioning some things. Okay, if this happen, what will happen to this our particular figure? Tí owó bá sì wọlé, gbèsè nìyẹn o, you know that. So you work towards making sure that this has to be done very well. You know what your job is all about, and not only you know what your job is all about, you know how to do the job. Do you know that how to do the job is even more important than what you want to do? Do you know that what you want to do is of less important than how to actually do it? If some of us are to think about building today, or how many of us have something, maybe you want to repair a shoe, or you want to build something, ejora mi kanga, let me use that one. Ṣe ẹyọkan síbí, ẹyọkan síbí, gbé síbẹ̀, ó ti tán now. Why can't you do it? Nígbà tó mọ̀ pé kan ṣe báyìí. You know what to do, but you don't know how to do it. So someone who is now a professional will say, this is how to do it. Before we do this, àwọn àkọ́kọ́ lọ ṣe ilé. So which means how to do it is even more important than what to do it. So which means when you understand your job very well, you are thinking about how to do the job in which you know what you want to do. It's very important. The second one I want you to look at is the Pareto principle. Is a very common principle in which it covers all fields. Is a law that tells us that 20% of input, there are some 20% of input that contribute to 80% of our output. Let me put it in that simple way. Now, I have one test in which when I was doing this, I just want us to look at it. Look at how big this all is. If we are to work in it, let's say the floor is dirty, the tables are not well arranged, the chairs are not well arranged. Look at it. The floor is dirty, the tables are not well arranged, the chairs are not well arranged, the curtains are not well arranged, the fans, the switches are not taken care of. Almost like 8 points that we need to remove the cobwebs. Do you know that 20% of this thing, that once you do them, 80% of the work is done? Do you get the analysis I just gave now? How big this all is? Gbogbo àwọn curtains yìí wọ́n wà scattered, wọ́n ti ẹ̀ ṣe, àga wọn down ní ilẹ̀ dọ̀tí, tables are not well arranged. Do you know just 2 of the work tẹ́ bá ṣe, it covers for 80% of the work of the result you actually intend to do. By the time you just sweep the floor and arrange the chairs, do you know 80% of the work is done? That's what Pareto principle is all about. There are most things on your work, your job description, that once you are able to do the 20% out of it, they contribute to 80% of the result. And that's why the third one now comes into play, time management. You must now make sure you devote your time to those things that are very important, by which 80% of your work is already done. I want you to go through your job descriptions or your functions over time and see it and look at it very well. There are many things iṣẹ́ ta máa ń ṣe for the week. Now let me tell you, you complained, or you said the earlier time that you used to close late. You ought to close by 5 and you used to close late. Same thing too. We used to do that. But at the time you just start changing leadership and see you are the one stressing yourself. You know the most important things. I don't want to be talking about some things that are of pride. Do all those things. Sharing your paperwork in it. So until we learn that, as we are doing the work in the morning, by the time we keep on doing those work and we are doing the one we are supposed to be doing, by the time we close by 3, we close to customer, we just find ourselves that the look at your cash. And most times now we now leave office by 4 or 5. Because we now know that there are some 20% of our work that accounts to 80% of the results we're actually doing. So when also we understand that this is they are very minute, they might be just 1 or 2 or 3, but once they are done, for the day, we go share very easy. That's why we now devote time management to it. We try to clarify what is important and what is urgent. We see the need to see what are urgent that are not important. We see the need to see what are very important and they are urgent, and what are important and not urgent. So by the time you now look at your job very well, when we get to office, kí làwọn nǹkan tá a máa ń ṣe gan? We do this, we do that, we do this, we do this. What are the things that once we finish them, almost half of our job is done? Let's devote to it. Let's do it and let's finish it first. And by the time you start knowing those things and you finish it, you now see that gbogbo iṣẹ́ tá a máa ń sọ pé à ń pẹ́ à ń ṣe bí ètì yẹn gan kò tí ẹ̀ pẹ́ gan. That's how it is. Now, the last thing in which I will talk about is core values. They are just two in which I love to talk about very well, especially when it comes to finance related industry. Are what I call integrity and discipline. Integrity and discipline. See, if you don't have integrity, if you are not disciplined, you will not achieve anything for the year. And they are very important. As far as finance industry is concerned, the first day I resumed work, the manager told me, he said, what is this? He brought out money and he said, what is this? I got this money. No, he said, this is not money. This is just our resources for us to work. If you see it that way, you will take it with levity. And by the time it's so funny, I was telling some teenagers and I say, the money you think about for 1 million, so you think, oh, 1 million, what to do? But I tell you that Tobari party arrange 100 million, to be motivated in auto teacher and big. You now see that oh God, need to. You are seeing 100 million like this, they can't spend it again. So if you don't have integrity, you compromise. And discipline, if you are not disciplined, the role of discipline in our life is to set orderliness, efficiency, punctuality, and focus on our tasks. I have a quote here that life without discipline is just like a ship without rudder. By the time you are not disciplined, you just be living your life anyhow you want it. But discipline makes us focus. It makes us stay active when needed, manage our time, and we self-control ourselves. Discipline is the bridge between the targets we are setting now for January and the accomplishment of that dream. I can tell you that one. Whatever we are setting for the year, when we are disciplined to actually work on it, when we see that what I need to do, I'm doing it, we see that those goals are very easy to achieve. And let me just go through what we've talked about on driving excellence. Remember, I said under 5 topics. And first one is what? Engage employees. The second one is what? You can look at the screen. I have it on smart goal. The third one is what? The fourth one is what? Those productivity. And the fifth one is what? Core value, which is integrity and discipline. I want you to remember them. They are interwoven. By the time you are engaged, you set your goal, the target given to you, you set it, you make sure they are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. And you have information, you use the information you have to plan out what you want to do for the year. And the first one is that you understand your job, you look at what is very important on the job, you devote your time to it. And lastly, as you are doing the job, you hold integrity as one of the core values, and you are disciplined to always this. You will see that by the time we come here January 2026, you will see that what we even think is not even achievable, we can achieve it. So thank you for listening, and I wish you prosperity. I remain my humble self, Emmanuel Adesoji. Thank you very much.